welcome back. So before we begin, just a quick shout out, note of thanks to Blue Diva. So after episode 10, who gave me the little tip about the voiles being the filters on all of the vents and the mushrooms, that is now on my list already. So new post-it note, there we go, job done. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into it. I'm just checking out the gas locker in here. All seems to be in pretty good condition. A bit that I am interested in is obviously the gas stop there. One gas line coming out of that side, which makes sense because that's the side that the cooker and the hob's on. That's the gas locker at the very front of the bow, and then in the well deck, this is what we're looking like. So inside these lockers are a mess. So that'll be a job for another day, cleaning those out. This one, the lid is a little bit broken, but this here is something that I'm extremely interested in. We've uncovered that it does have these screws in this panel. There's another one there. So this could be where the elusive bow thrusters are. Yeah, there can't really be anywhere else for it because we've checked and checked and checked. It may also be where the water tank is, so that's something else I need to try and figure out. If I can just open this. I think that is the water stop, the water fill point in there. I did fill the water from there and I'm hoping it's the water point. It says water on it, if you can just about make that out. There is also a lot of other power and wiring and gubbins in here, so that could be for if there was ever a tunnel light on the front, which I think there may have been at some point. But again, a lot of rubbish needs to be cleaned out. So presumably, given the water tank fill point is there, it's probably under my feet. Okay, so in here, found the water tank. So there she is. So that'll be the inlet from the locker outside. That is the water pump there. The switch is there to turn that on and off and isolate the water pump. So yes, handy to have found. We know exactly where that is now. So I'm gonna try and get some rough measurements of it so I can figure out what the capacity is. And yeah, good stuff. Okay, so I just found something really quite interesting. So this pipe here, now that I've just put my torch on, is what's called a breather pipe. So that goes up the side there. So if you see that corner where it came from, and then I've located the other end of it here, which is not the best design in the world. I'll move the boys' fishing rod, because if you are filling up the tank and you happen to overfill the tank for whatever reason, or you forget about it and leave the hose pipe running, chances are water's going to come out of there, albeit very slowly, but still, you still run the risk of getting water inside the boat, which you definitely do not want. So I'll be looking at putting a proper breather pipe onto the outside. So, I mean, to be honest, I don't know why it just doesn't go straight up through the floor of the well deck, and then it can just run out of the drain hole that's already on the well deck up there. That would make more sense to me. If there's a better way of doing it, let me know. Okay, so as I'm standing here now, this is probably not going to make it into the video, but if it does, this is what's going through my brain right now. So let me stand back here. So thinking of moving this up there. Now, I would like it to go on the left hand side, because then that would help us even out the balance, because it's been listing a little bit to the left since everything is on the left, or the port side, as it is in a boat. So all the way right through, like the bed is on the left, the engine's on the left, the bathroom's on the left, there's a little bit of kitchen on the left, the dinette's on the left, sofa is now on the left. So I want to be able to even things out a little bit. So plan is, I know I'm moving that from the starboard side over to the port side, but method in the madness is that then sofa can come onto the starboard side, so onto the right hand side. Only issue I foresee with that is that the pump is currently down in that corner, so I need access to the water pump. Now, I'm thinking I could move that to somehow inside the stairs. It might require a bit of jiggery pokery behind the hearth, but I need to leave an air gap behind the hearth anyway, so could I maybe run the pipe and the wire somehow and conceal it behind there? That cabinet on the left, I'm really not too fussed about keeping that. I might put two taller cabinets, either one there or one there, depending on what I do with the fire. But yeah, I feel like this would be a much better utilisation of the space. Also, if I come a bit further back, you can see that there is a good foot or so of space there of kitchen that's encroaching there on the fireplace. So also thinking that if I move the fireplace and the hearth down to the front of the boat, then I can possibly extend this work surface level with that and still have plenty of space down there. I may then just mitre off this corner and then run this all the way up and then have the sofa backing onto there. Then I've got like a little reach point. I can reach off the sofa and put things onto the work surface there at the top, so that could also be quite handy. As we know, the gas pipe comes out of the gas locker onto the starboard side. It runs down here, so again, I don't really want the gas pipe and the fire together. You can see it on the bottom just running across that bit of skirting board here. It's clearly not a problem, but I would prefer to keep the heat from the fire away from the gas. Would make a bit more sense. So that said, that means that would go over there. Again, I know a lot of people do prefer the fire in this position on the boat, but given the way that the kitchen partition is there, fire's facing that way, even with a fan on, there's no way I can kind of get it to circulate very easily back down the way. So again, thinking if it's down there facing this way, I can just get the airflow and the heat to radiate this way. I appreciate we may lose some out of the front doors, but you know, ventilation, circulation, fine. I've got that window open anyway, so yeah. So that's what I'm thinking in terms of positioning. I feel like that might flow a little bit better and a little bit nicer. Also keeping the fire out of passing distance, because it does worry me that the children have to pass through straight past that fire on a regular basis if they want anything from where they are there sitting on the sofa to here. So yes, that I think would be my preference. I could leave the water alone and put the fire in that corner, but then that still gives me the problem that we're kind of port side heavy, and then everyone's sitting on the port side, whether they're in the dinette, whether they're in bed, whether they're on the sofa. So I'm just thinking about weight distribution. Would we be better off on this side, given that, you know, that's free choice? Again, I wouldn't want the fire here and sofa here, because I feel like that would be too close to combustibles. It would block the heat. I'd want the fire over there, sofa there, or fire there, sofa here. So I think as it stands now, plan is fire there, sofa there, mitre that kitchen off, extend this kitchen to level with this, put the sofa up. Yeah, job's a good one. Okay, so this is something that really bugs me that needs to go. So it's the angles at which these have been cut. So you can clearly see that the angles do not follow suit. So we are just around 15 inches at that point, and then over here we are much closer to 16 inches. So that's gonna have to change. I appreciate it may have been done for a reason, for whatever is under there, because of the corner of the sink, but in that case we would just need to alter the angle on that one by an inch and lose that. That just drives me insane. So another thinking out loud video. So if you imagine this is the edge here, so if you went straight across roughly to where my finger is there, approximately on that tile, straight up, that would be where that kitchen could come to, which could then give us some potential for some wall storage there, without kind of closing it in too much. There is also potential for obviously wall storage here, but still want to be able to maintain that kind of nice open feel. There did used to be a unit here that was one of the first things we took out just to open it up, because it was disgustingly dirty, and it didn't really serve any purpose. It was glass. Very nice if you don't have small children, but yeah, not fun if you've got small children. So yeah, that would give us a whole lot more cabinet space, or even shelves, or hanging for pans and utensils and implements, whatever it may be. Again, not really the best use of space here, so I get it that that's obviously where the fridge is, and I have just stuck a little fire extinguisher there, but you know, that could be ideal for maybe a wine rack or a cooler or something. The fridge is just sticking out a little bit. So I mean, ideally I'd be wanting to make the most of that space, because when you're walking past, it doesn't really make a great deal of difference, because obviously the worktop comes to there. So there is quite a lot of space we could make use of in there. Okay, so the diner area is one of the areas that I don't think I'm going to change too drastically. So obviously this is kitchen, worktop here, little divider there. So this obviously converts into a full size, well, small double, so it's a 4 foot wide bed. 4 foot by 7 foot is that overall space, so perfectly handy to have a table for the kids. The only thing that I'm considering in here is that maybe want to replace this window with a hatch. I say maybe tentatively. We like the idea of a hatch. The hatch is currently in the darkness just there, which will be inside the walk-through bathroom. Hence, we don't really want to stay inside the walk-through bathroom because we can't really benefit from it, certainly not in summer. And obviously, if you're sitting here in the dinette, it would be lovely to have the hatch there, you know, sort of sitting from your table here. So yes, obviously that would give quite a nice view out onto the cut instead of having hatch there in a corridor, which, well, currently a corridor, it will be bathroom.